Okay, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, the elect of Yahushai. First and foremost, Kal Halalim, Wa Hawad La Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashayach, Wa Malak Yahushai, Wa Baha Racha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach the nation of Israel well, as they are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. Enough respect, salutations, and blessings to the Akim pushing this word throughout the four corners of this world. Alright. And Adam and Ratazar, which means Lord willing, so Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And of course, we just had that wicked folly day, Hell-O-Ween, right, Hell-O-Ween, okay. And of course, these Christians, they don't know the Bible. You got our people caught up in this madness that the heathens love to celebrate, okay. This is a very dark time, especially, spiritually, around October, going on November, December, even up until January. It's a dark time, man. All right, and our people have no business celebrating folly, holidays like this, okay? And at this point in the truth, all right, you should be aware of this. Of course, we've got new brothers and sisters coming in daily, all right? So again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Al-Shah, this lesson should be edifying. Okay. Now, I've got this article from Christianity.com. Got it up and it says, does Halloween celebrate evil? Evil was celebrated on Halloween in the past, but if you choose to celebrate Halloween in your Christian freedom by passing out candy to children, dressing up, or going trick-or-treating, you are not celebrating evil. Sorry. You see, and these Christians try to spin everything and basically justify that celebrating Halloween is okay. Right? It's quite a lengthy article, so I'll just, get most of the points. Halloween is a very popular holiday across the world. In the present day, Halloween is celebrated by children dressing up in costumes, going trick-or-treating, eating candy. While today's traditions seem harmless, many Christians wonder if Halloween is evil. The celebration of Halloween today for mainline culture does not directly relate to the early practices surrounding October 31st. Halloween has its roots in Catholicism and Celtic practices in which the name Halloween comes from the former and the evil practices come from the latter. Really it comes from the term All Hallows Eve. Alright. Traces back to Catholicism. Halloween comes from the two words of hallow, which means holy person, and een, which is supposed to mean Eve. And this is certainly not holy. Okay. Alright. And it refers to the state's holy people when they're not. Alright. Celebrated within the Catholic Church on All Saints' Day, which occurs on November the 1st. Alright, and this is where it gets interesting. The Celtic evil traditions of Halloween. The darker side of Halloween has its roots in the Celtic festival of Samhain, which is the celebration of the end of summer. According to the Celtic tradition, during Samhain, the veil between our world and the other world is broken, which enables spirits from the dead to come back and visit the living. As part of Samhain, the Celts offered food, animals, and even people to the spirit world. Right there, man, that's a major red flag. Major red flag. In addition to the spirit world being able to visit the real world, the Celts believe witches, goblins, fairies, and demons will be roaming around the earth and could visit the inhabitants of the earth. The Druids, believed in order to appease the demons, witches, fairies, and goblins, you had to leave them sweets or you had to dress up like them in a costume in order to be detected. In order not to be detected as a human being. Alright, so that's where, you trick-or-treating comes in and things of that nature. Okay? If you want, you can look at this article and, look up more information on it. But, these Christians, they like to do that and justify celebrating, days like this and putting it up as a high holiday when it's absolutely far from it. So, I was going to get a precept in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, I'll start at verse 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, and I would not that you should have fellowship with devils. Okay. Verse 21, you cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. you cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils. All right. You know, if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, all right, or an Israelite foreigner, right, you're not supposed to fellowship with devils. You're not supposed to have any part of this whatsoever, because you're the children of Israel. Okay. You can't serve the Most High and Shaitan, Satan, simultaneously. All right, look that word up. Okay. It's pure folly. And even just looking at this folly day, all right, aesthetically, look that word up too. Okay. You can just see how evil it is. You know? You got other folly days like Easter, which has nothing to do with the scriptures, Christmas, which has nothing to do with the scriptures, Valentine's Day, which has nothing to do with the scriptures. Even that doesn't have an evil appearance. But this, you can just straight away visibly see that it's just wicked. Okay? Even though those other holidays are pagan. Alright? And you have no business partaking in either of those, in any of those. Christmas, Easter, Hell-O-Ween. Alright? Because straight away you can see how demonic Halloween is. It's pure wickedness and evil. And that's the thing, because nobody comes to my place. I lock the gate and shut off the lights. And that's what it is. And another thing is right, this, okay, you stupid costumes, it's ridiculous, you know. And then Esau, he advertises this nonsense, all right, brainwashing youth, you know. And parents, they're not better, encouraging them and telling the children about Halloween and stuff. And what many fail to realize is that, you know, you're offering your energy and your sacrifices and your praises to a false god, to false gods and false deities, right, by participating in this. You know, and blood sacrifices, they would have taken place throughout the world, all right? Enchantments are going to be thrown out. You know, this is not a game. This is serious. Right, and guess what? When Halloween took place, it was the Shabbat. All right, Monday evening, 31st of October, 2022, sundown, to today, Tuesday evening, 1st of November, 2022. You know, and that's the Shabbat. Let's get another article. Now, this is from history.com. And this is Sam Hain. If you're into Sam Hain. Now, if you want to go in depth more into, you know, the history of Halloween, it's, you know, it's a very good article because it's got all the details on it. And it says Samhain is a pagan religious festival originating from ancient Celtic spiritual tradition. In modern times, Samhain is usually celebrated from October the 31st to November the 1st, right, to welcome in the harvest and usher in the dark half of the year, right, which is what we were discussing. Okay. And that's the thing. You know, you got the men, right? Because there's a, you know, a feminine spirit within, you know, the majority of these men. Most of them. They'll say, oh, it's for your children and things like that. It's for the family. You know, really, they need to grow up. Because as the man is supposed to lead the children as the head of the household. Okay? As it says in Proverbs. You know, train up a child. I'll just get that. Just bear with. Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. Right? You know, you shouldn't have them out there trick-or-treating. All right? Being associated with this nonsense. You know? And telling them when they were young that it's wrong. Then it wouldn't be a problem. Even when I was younger, I did do Halloween a few times, but I didn't really go all out with it. All right, and I certainly stopped celebrating it before I even came into the truth, because even then, I just knew. They'd rather, you see, these men would rather, please their women and children. And again, we have our own high holidays as Israelites, And again, these Christians, they try to attach wickedness to the scriptures, then say it's part of the Bible and come up with all sorts of excuses. Anyway, man, let's get another precept. Job chapter 14, verse 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. All right? You can't clean up a satanic holiday like Hell-O-Ween. All right? Just like you can't clean up pork by preparing it and cooking it to the best of your ability, right? Adding healthy herbs to it and onions and squeezing lemon on it, etc. It's still a pig at the end of the day. It's still unclean no matter what you do to it. Okay? All this is witchcraft. Let's get Leviticus chapter 20, verse 27. And it reads, a man also, or woman, that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. Right? There you go. Clear, cut, and precise. They shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them. Okay? You got our people dressing up like every damn demonic figure under the sun, including witches and wizards. Alright? And they're supposed to be put to death, period. No ifs, and buts, or maybe. Alright? See, this festival crap, it's for Esau and the other heathens, not us. Alright, we're meant to be Qadash, holy, separate. It's nothing to do with the Bible whatsoever. And the thing is, man, a lot of money has gone into preparing for Halloween and things like that. Even before it started, right? Even in like supermarkets and grocery stores or whatever. Right, you've got decorations, waste of time, okay? You've got all these toys, these different objects. Okay, you got that big pumpkin, which is a waste of food. Okay, wicked costumes, and that'll be expensive, especially in the inflation times that we're in. Okay, just time and energy wasted. Let's get another verse. Exodus chapter 22, verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And there you go. And I mentioned how enchantments are thrown around. Okay, and you got these little children dressed up as witches too. That's a terrible. Especially our children, man. Our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let's get another precept. In fact, bear with me, Salakia. That's Salakia for that, I'm back. Alright. That's suffering not a witch to live. Let's get the next precept, book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. Okay. There you go. In fact, let's look at the word abstain. Okay, word abstain in the Greek is
Strong's G 567. Apechamai. Thayer's lexicon. Apecho.
Right, and it goes into to hold oneself, refrain, abstain. Okay, refrain from. Let's get the definition on the Etym Online. So the word abstain from Etym Online, in the late 14th century, it goes to avoid something, refrain oneself from, keep free from sin or vice, live austerely, practice abstinence or asceticism. Okay? Hold oneself back, refrain, voluntary abstain. So there you go, man. And this is something you want to avoid at all costs. We have no business celebrating Halloween whatsoever. And our women, it'll be an excuse for them to dress up in a whorish manner. And the thing is that they can get away with it on Halloween. I mean, majority of Eve dress, whorish a lot anyway. Halloween is prime example for them to get away with it. Okay. And scripture says, even if it even looks evil, like I was saying before, avoid it. Okay? Abstain from the lust. Alright, these Halloween parties, all the sweets and candy and what have you. Another folly that they'll be engaging in. Alright? And Apostle Paul, man, he wrote these letters to the Israelites, repenting in Corinth, in Thessalonica, in Galatia, to refrain from wickedness, such as this. Again, we've got our own high holidays to reverence and observe in righteousness. Okay? Here it is, you got these foolish costumes, spells, enchantments going out. Is Halloween evil? Trick-or-treat. Oh yeah, trick-or-treating. Right, the origins of trick-or-treating. The history of trick-or-treating traces back to Scotland and Ireland, where the tradition of guising, going house to house at Halloween and putting on a small performance to be rewarded with food or treats, goes back at least as far as the 16th century, as does the tradition of people wearing costumes at Halloween. Let's see what this says about it, history.com, about trick-or-treating. Right, we pretty much read that already. Just want to get to the roots of trick-or-treating. Just bear with me. Right, poor people would visit the houses of wealthier families and receive pastries called soul cakes in exchange for a promise to pray for the souls of the homeowner's dead relatives, known as souling. The practice was later taken up by children, who would go from door to door asking for gifts such as food, money, and ale. Scotland and Ireland, young people took part in a tradition called guising, dressing up in costume and accepting offerings from various households. Rather than pledging to pray for the dead, they would sing a song, recite a poem, tell a joke, or perform another sort of trick before collecting their treat, which typically consisted of fruits, nuts, or coins. And there's other websites that will go into the origins of trick-or-treating when you research it. Okay? And look at it, ridiculous costumes and things of that nature. And at the forefront somewhere, they'll put Eve there. Always have our people advertising for Esau and and stuff. Let's get another book we said anyway. Let's get the book of Exodus, the blessed book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Right? And it's a very popular and common thing. Many do it. Right? And our people are following the multitude to do wickedness, to do evil. Okay? That's why these Christians as well should put the Bible down, because they're another influencer. They're another people. They're basically saying, just go celebrate it. Okay? And telling people to do so. Jake will have their family out trick-or-treating, following the heathen. And then next, our people will celebrate Xmas, Christmas, which has nothing to do with Yahushua at all. All this has nothing to do with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua at all. It's a damn shame, especially in 2022, the year of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua turning up, deemed by Elder Apostle Tahar. Alright? With what's going on, man, you got time to do this. It shows the mind state of where people are. Deuteronomy chapter 18. And verse 9. When thou art come into the land which Yahweh, the Lord thy power, giveth thee, then thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. And this is an abomination. Okay, the heathen's ways are abominable, and it's plain and clear. If you want to find our high holidays as an example, right? For example, just go to Leviticus chapter 23. Okay. Verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. You know, when you have your children dressing up, you know, like devils and goblins or what have you, you know, trick-or-treating, you're actually passing them through the fire spiritually. That's the thing. Alright? Verse 11. Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. Alright? For all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahweh the Lord, and because of these abominations, Yahweh the Lord thy power doth drive them out from before thee. Okay, so again, man, you're not supposed to follow these nations, alright, sacrificing to devils. That's what they're doing, you know. And our people are stubborn and stiff-necked, you know, and they'll try to spin things and come up with excuses. They'll spin things around and justify the wrongdoings, alright, especially the 2/3 in Babylon the Great. Alright, the hopeful elect know this is wicked and will abstain from it. Alright, you know, but in America, you know, folly is set in great dignity. Okay. Hey man, just Google what happened in South Korea recently, like a couple days ago. You know, them incest cunts over there, of course. You know, you know, over there we still have our, you know, our people mingled among them, but you know, the righteous judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is being performed. Okay. You know, by having hundreds, you know, I believe it was, yeah, if I remember correctly, it was about over 100, you know, dead bodies, you know, with a stampede. You know, that's punishment, and it serves as a warning as well. Yeah, so just wanted to make that point. You know, hopefully you were edified, uplifted, encouraged, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. I don't want Ratazar, this one is edifying. Double honor to the apostles of great millstone who rule and labor in this word and doctrine. Alright, pray for one another, pray for each other, pray for the apostles and elders. Okay, fast, pray, repent. Alright, come back to your true culture and heritage, being Israelites. Okay, and with that, Shabbat Shalom to the elect. Shalom.